Time. If my biography were cocktails, these two would be it. Though I live in Seattle these days, my family's called Hawaii home for the last 200 years. Come with me on an adventure across my home island, Oahu. You can follow along on these maps right here for information about the coffee and our cocktails. Our first stop today is Manawili Coffee Farm at the Hawaii Agricultural Research Center. This is where I had my first coffee experience, shaping my future coffee career. I'm so excited to serve you today 2 of their Bourbon lots, handpicked and processed by my friends Julie and Rick. For your warm cocktail, we're using their sparkling natural process, where whole cherries have been rinsed, floated, and then submerged underwater for 72 hours, creating creating CO2 within the cherry. For your cold cocktail, we'll be using their cacao fruit co-fermented coffee. So cherries were fermented with cacao fruit, which imparted tropical fruit notes within the cherry. After their unique fermentations, both coffees were dried on raised beds for 20 days to ensure an 11% moisture content. I'll be brewing your warm cocktails coffee with a full immersion brewer, using 22 grams of coffee and 264 grams of 96 degrees Celsius water. A fine grind and heavy agitation will bring forward high sweetness and high acidity from this coffee due to the high extraction. All right, let's head over to our next stop. It's called Kohana Rum in Kunia, where they share the story of ko, or Hawaiian heirloom sugarcane. While we're there, we'll pick up 2 bottles of rum for our cocktails. Sugar is actually deeply tied to my family's history. My great-great-grandparents immigrated from Japan to Hawaii to work in sugarcane, with 2 generations living on plantations across the islands. Alrighty, and that's gonna bring us to our first cocktail of the day. It's your warm drink, and it's called mo'olelo, which means story in Hawaiian. Are you ready to take note? Okay. It's gonna have flavors of burnt honey, stewed apple, and praline, like the pastry stuff. It'll have a medium weight with a syrupy texture and a tacky candy-like finish. All right, let's begin building it. We'll start with 22.5 milliliters of Koho 3-year rum agricole from Kohana Distilling, featuring the Pakavelli variety. And combine this with 15 milliliters of Amara Montenegro. When these 2 are combined with our coffee, they bring out notes of caramel sweetness and cooked apple. Then, 22.5 milliliters of Gran Orandane Tequila Blanco that I've infused with pineapple will add a honeyed-like sweetness to our cocktail. Then, 22.5 milliliters of macadamia nut orgeat that I made using macadamia and macadamia flower honey will add a note of praline, as well as lend us the syrupy texture that it provides. This cocktail would be so beautiful served at night, and it doesn't use a little fire, so please wait until I call to enjoy. All right. So here in these lime shells, I've got some burning sugar cubes, and at the bottom of your drinks, I have a mixture of plantation OFTD rum and Hawaiian ohia blossom honey. It's a little hard to see because the stage is so well lit, but I promise they're on fire. To extinguish the flames, we'll be using 200 milliliters of our brewed coffee mixed with our spirit base, which steeped for 1 minute and 30 seconds before draining. Alrighty. And this is our Instagram moment. Are you ready? Excellent. A little dust of cinnamon. To 1, douse the fire, and 2, add a little bit of more of that stewed apple note. Thank you so much. Enjoy, judges. All right. We're going to begin moving into our next course. Our next stop today is Iolani Palace, the resting place of Hawaii's last queen. In 1893, sugar planters overthrew the Hawaiian monarchy, American sugar planters overthrew the monarchy, making sugar the reason that I'm representing the US today, and not the Kingdom of Hawaii. In 1895, Hawaiian sugar planters began researching and developing the history and customs of Heirloom Co. in their organization, and diversified into cacao and coffee to become the Hawaii Agricultural Research Center. They passed the torch to Kohana Distilling, who continue to celebrate this culturally important crop today. It's so exciting to be able to talk about the family ties between Kohana rum and Manawili coffee and serve them as part of my family history. Your next course is called Piliohana. Are you ready to take note again? It has flavors of banana, pineapple, and macadamia, with a medium light weight, a satiny mouthfeel, and a long, slightly dry finish. Now let's begin building it. We've started with 39 grams of Manawili Bourbon chilled in my hyper chiller, extracted at 18 grams in, 39 grams out, in 29 seconds, for notes of pineapple acidity and satiny texture. Then 2 rums that, when combined with our coffee, create notes of banana and pineapple. First, 30 milliliters of funky Kea white rum agricole featuring the Pilimai variety, and 15 milliliters of molassesy Denizen Merchants Reserve rum. Next, 30 milliliters of grassy Gran Orandane Tequila Blanco with a sugarcane juice-like sweetness to complement our rums. Then, 15 milliliters of Pierre Ferrand Bitter Orange Curacao adds a complex bitterness that'll translate to a slightly dry texture. 10 mils of lime juice will bring forward the tropical fruit notes in our cocktail and balance with acidity. And 22.5 milliliters of that macadamia nut orgeat will add a note of macadamia, as well as lend us that nice medium lightweight. I'll be shaking all of this together to chill and dilute to below freezing, decreasing your perception of the sweetness and highlighting this cocktail's complex acidity. Now let's talk about your garnish, because there's quite a bit. If you need the instructions again, you can find them on the menus in front of you. So, these displays incorporate elements of the terroir from Manawili. And to really bring you there, I've created a mountain fog tincture that you'll pour into the metal pitchers situated above the displays. In addition, I have this cacao pulp, the same stuff that was co-fermented with your coffee. Please eat it after your first sip for a transformative drinking experience to highlight the acidity. These cocktails are for anyone who wants to come on an Oahu adventure with me, and I'm so excited that you got to join me on this one today. Thank you, judges, and please enjoy. Time.
Thank you very much, Reyna.